Logan is a 2017 American neo-Western superhero film starring Hugh Jackman as the titular character. Based on the Marvel Comics character Wolverine, the film was directed by James Mangold, who co-wrote the screenplay with Michael Green and Scott Frank from a story by Mangold. It is the 10th installment in the X-Men film series and the third Wolverine solo film following X-Men Origins, Wolverine, 2009, and The Wolverine, 2013. The film takes inspiration from the Old Man Logan comics storyline by Mark Millar and Steve McNiven, follows an aged Wolverine and an extremely ill Charles Xavier who must defend a young mutant named Laura from the Reavers led by Donald Pierce and Xander Rice. In addition to Jackman, the film also stars Patrick Stewart, Richard E. Grant, Boyd Holbrook, Stephen Merchant, and introduces Dafne in her film debut as Laura. Discussion for the film began following the release of The Wolverine in 2013, with Mangold in negotiations to write the treatment for the film and Lauren Schuler Donner returning to produce. After updates followed that December to May 2016, principal photography began that May, and ended that August, mainly in Louisiana, New Mexico, and Mississippi. The film was designed to look like it takes place in the near future, with slight updates to technology and the social environment, with heavy influences from the Western genre, akin to a neo-Western. Logan premiered at the 67th Berlin International Film Festival on February 17, 2017, and was theatrically released in the United States on March 3. It was praised by critics for its action scenes, emotional depth, performances, and Mangold's direction, becoming the best-reviewed film in the X-Men franchise. The National Board of Review named Logan one of the top 10 films of 2017, and the film was also nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay at the 90th Academy Awards, becoming the first live-action superhero film to be nominated for screenwriting. Grossing $619.2 million worldwide, it became the third highest-grossing R-rated film at its release. Jackman and Keane reprised their roles in the film Deadpool and Wolverine, 2024. Plot. In 2029, no mutants have been born in 25 years, and an aging Logan suffers as his healing ability is failing, slowly poisoned by his adamantium skeletal grafts. Working as a limousine driver in El Paso, Texas, he and the mutant tracker Caliban take care of the elderly Charles Xavier, in an abandoned smelting plant in northern Mexico. Xavier has dementia that causes him to have destructive telepathic seizures, one of which killed several of the X-Men years prior. Logan reluctantly agrees to escort Gabriela Lopez, a former nurse for Biotechnology Corporation Alkali Transigen, and a young girl named Laura to Eden, a supposed refuge near the American-Canadian border, but finds Gabriela dead. Upon returning to the plant, Logan is confronted by Donald Pierce, Transigen's cyborg chief of security, who had killed Gabriela and was looking for Laura, who had stowed away in the back of Logan's limo and has powers similar to his. She, Logan, and Xavier escape from Pierce and his Reavers, but Caliban is captured. Pierce tortures Caliban into tracking Laura. Xavier and Logan watch a video on Gabriela's phone, revealing that Transigen created Laura and other children from mutant DNA to become weapons. The children proved challenging to control and were to be executed, but Gabriela and other nurses helped some escape. Xavier reveals to Logan that Laura was created from Logan's DNA and calls her Logan's daughter. In Oklahoma City, Logan discovers that Eden appears in Laura's X-Men comic and tells her it is fictional. The Reavers arrive, but Xavier has a seizure that incapacitates everyone except Logan and Laura, who kill the mercenaries and injects Xavier with levetiracetam. As they flee, Dr. Xander Rice, the head of Transigen, arrives to help Pierce. Logan, Laura, and Xavier help farmer Will Munson and his family after a traffic incident, accepting an offer of dinner at their home, where Logan drives off enforcers from a corporate farm. Rice unleashes X-24, a violent, mindless feral clone of Logan in his prime created as Transigen's ultimate weapon. X-24 kills Xavier and Will's family before capturing Laura. Caliban sets off grenades, killing himself and several Reavers but only injuring Pierce. Logan is outmatched by X-24, but will pins X-24 with his truck before dying from his injuries. Logan and Laura escape with Xavier's body. After burying Xavier, Logan passes out. Laura takes him to a doctor and persuades him to prove that the site in North Dakota is not Eden. They find Richter and other Trans-Igen children preparing to cross into Canada. Laura finds an adamantium bullet that Logan has kept since he escaped from the Weapon X facility, which he once considered using to commit suicide. Logan decides not to accompany them, to Laura's dismay. When the Reavers ambush the children, Logan takes an overdose of a serum given to him by Richter that temporarily enhances his healing abilities and boosts his strength. With Laura's help, he slaughters most of the Reavers before the serum wears off. As Pierce holds Richter at gunpoint, Rice tells Logan, who killed Rice's father years ago at the Weapon X facility, that no new mutants have been born in the USA due to genetically engineered crops created by Trans-Igen and distributed through the food supply. Logan, having found a gun, shoots Rice dead and injures Pierce. X-24 fights Logan as the children combine their powers to kill Pierce and the remaining Reavers. Richter uses his powers to flip a truck onto X-24, but X-24 frees himself and impales Logan on a large tree branch, mortally wounding him. Laura loads Logan's revolver with the adamantium bullet and shoots X-24 in the head, killing him. Near death, Logan tells Laura not to become the weapon she was made to be, and after she tearfully acknowledges him as her father, Logan dies peacefully in Laura's arms. She and the children bury Logan, with Laura reciting as his eulogy the closing speech from Shane, which Logan, Xavier, and she had watched in the Oklahoma City hotel. Before the children depart, Laura tilts the cross on his grave marker to create an X. Cast. Hugh Jackman's portrayal of Wolverine for 17 years in 9 films earned him the Guinness World Records title for longest career as a live-action Marvel superhero in 2019. Left to right, director James Mangold with Patrick Stewart, Dafne, and Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman as James Howlett/Logan. A former member of the X-Men and a physically enhanced mutant with accelerated healing. Charles Xavier's former pupil and Laura's biological father, dealing with his age and ailment. 4-5 He is one of Charles Xavier's caregivers, alongside Caliban. 6 Mangold spoke of Logan's age influencing his regenerative capabilities, which he stated may no longer produce soft skin, so we imagined he heals quickly, still, but it leaves a scar. The simple idea was that his body would start to get a little more ravaged with a kind of tattooing of past battles, lacerations that remain of previous conflicts. 7-8. On the second page of the screenplay, Mangold spoke of Logan as, he's older now and it's clear his abilities aren't what they once were. He's fading on the inside and his diminished healing factor keeps him in a constant state of chronic pain, hence booze as a painkiller. 9-10. In 2015, Jackman requested fan input for the direction Wolverine's story should go in the next film while seeming to confirm that the project would serve as his farewell to Logan. 11 To prepare for his role, Jackman ate a minimum of 6 meals per day when working with trainer Mike Ryan. 12 Ryan stated that an average workout session for Jackman lasts up to 3 hours, beginning at 4 a.m. 13 Jackman stated, "It's going to be very different. Very different in tone and hopefully different to anything we've done." 14. Regarding the more personal tone, Jackman noted, "That's always been really his dilemma, coming to terms with who he is." 15 Jackman has also explained that comedian Jerry Seinfeld was indirectly responsible for his decision to stop playing Logan after 17 years, with Jackman stating, "I was having a chat with Seinfeld about a year ago, he was talking about why he finished Seinfeld. He said he'd always had this feeling and belief that you never know when either your energy or the audience's energy is going to dip over into people saying, 'Oh, please go.'" 16 Jackman accepted a pay reduction to ensure that the film would be produced to receive an R rating. 17 Additionally, Jackman portrays Logan's clone, X-24. 18. Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier. A mutant who is the world's most powerful telepath, the founder and former leader of the now-defunct X-Men and formerly known as Professor X. 1920 Charles's telepathic abilities have become unstable due to age, over 90 years, and an unknown brain disease, and at times, he does not recognize Logan. 6 During the events of Logan, Xavier is cared for by Logan and Caliban. 21 Regarding Xavier and the themes of aging and loneliness, Mangold said 22 We've seen these characters in action, saving the universe. But what happens when you're in retirement and that career is over? 23 The really interesting thing to me, or a place to dig that hadn't been dug, was the idea of mutants when they're no longer useful to the world, or even sure if they can do what they used to do. Their powers are diminished like all of ours are by age. 5 Our Charles is a very sweet character in this film. I think he's always been an incredibly sweet character. With the addition of his own physical fragility in this movie, he becomes an incredibly powerful paternal figure in the movie. Logan is more of a reluctant one, I think you can easily guess. 24. Stewart remarked that, "This is probably the end of this franchise for me." But the thing about science fiction and fantasy is that you can never, ever say it's the end, it's over. 25. Dafne Keen as Laura/X-23. A mysterious young girl, who is very much like Logan as well as Logan's biological daughter. She is also subject X-23. 526 On Keen's portrayal of Laura, Mangold mentioned, "If anyone could steal a movie from Jackman, it would be Dafne. She carries, all the time, a slight strangeness." 27. In an interview with Digital Spy, Mangold stated, "Keen was 11 years old when we were shooting. She's a remarkable kid. Her parents are actors, and she's kind of a very modern kid. Very physically capable. Incredibly gifted as an actress. I mean, it was a huge risk for Fox to allow me to make a movie where the third point of the triangle was built upon someone so young." Mangold stated that the worldwide search for an actress to portray Laura was one in which he was seeking someone who was bilingual because I wanted a Latina kid, one who was between 10 and 12, and was a credible child. He later stated of Laura that, "She's an 11-year-old girl equipped with all the volatility, instability, mood swings, shadows and potential violence of our hero." 24. Co-writer Scott Frank pushed for the character to speak as little as possible when he joined the project to avoid making her into a typical kid sidekick, explaining, "I read a few other drafts of the script that Jim worked on, and in all those drafts she was talking from the beginning and had an attitude. I thought that was a giant mistake." 28. 11-year-old Naya Murphy served as Dafne's stunt double. 29 30 Millie Bobby Brown auditioned for the role before Keen was cast. 31 Logan was Keen's film debut. 32. Boyd Holbrook as Donald Pierce. Transigence relentless, calculating, and intense head of security and leader of the militant Reavers 24 26 33 34 who is sent to retrieve Laura, which brings him into conflict with Wolverine. Holbrook said of the character, "He's an innovative engineer and he's a big fan of Wolverine. He just wants to hang out with him. There's a lot of surprising stuff in it." 35. Mangold praised Holbrook's performance, saying that he is just a fabulous actor. "I wanted this film to feel intimate and real and truthfully acted, and I wanted very much to break away from the kind of bloated feeling I've gotten from a lot of comic book movies." 24. Stephen Merchant as Caliban. An albino mutant who can sense and track other mutants, who is helping Logan take care of Xavier. 6 On Merchant taking the role, Mangold mentioned, "I'm always interested to find the thing that looks most interesting on the actors. Stephen is a huge man. One of the things that is so wonderful filming with him for a character like this is that he's a good 6 inches taller than Logan, and huge over Patrick. The little kid in the movie would come up to basically his knee. So there's a wonderful sense of scale, but he has heart too." Mangold concluded by stating, So that was a wonderful energy to enter the movie, and someone who instead of turning things into their own energy kind of joined ours. 5. A younger Caliban was previously portrayed by Tamashla Marquise in X-Men, Apocalypse. 36. Richard E. Grant as Dr. Xander Rice. The surgical head of Transigen 26 whose father was killed by Logan during his escape from the Weapon X headquarters at Alkali Lake. 37 On the character of Rice, Mangold stated, "He's the puppet master behind Pierce and the Reavers, and has a much larger role in the sense that he's actually the kind of brilliant mind that is trying to grow mutants." 24. Eric LaSalle, Elise Neal, and Elizabeth Rodriguez appear as Will Munson, Catherine Munson, and Gabriella, respectively. 38 39 40 Doris Morgado, David Calloway, Han Soto, Jason Gineo, Krzysztof Sosinski, and Alison Fernandez appear as Maria, Rhodes, Valet, Richter, Mohawk, and Delilah, respectively. 40 41 42 43 In the commentary to X-Men, Apocalypse, director Bryan Singer had stated that his film's post-credits scene would directly connect with the on-screen debut of X-Men antagonist Mr. Sinister in the third, then untitled Wolverine movie. 44 45 46 47 48 In January 2017, Mangold stated that the character Mr. Sinister would not appear in his film. 49. Production. Development. Hugh and I have been talking about what we would do since we were working on the last one, and for both of us it was this requirement that, to be even interested in doing it, we had to free ourselves from some assumptions that had existed in the past, and be able to change the tone a bit. Not merely to change for change's sake, but also to make something that's speaking to the culture now, that's not just the same style. How many times can they save the world in one way or another? How can we construct a story that's built more on character and character issues, in a way as if it almost wasn't a superhero movie, yet it features their powers and struggles and themes? James Mangold, on the development and approach of Logan 50. In November 2013, 20th Century Fox initiated discussions over another solo film starring Wolverine, with James Mangold in negotiations to write the treatment for the film and Lauren Schuler Donner returning to produce under the Donner's company. 51 52 53 54 At the time, Hugh Jackman neither confirmed nor denied his reprisal of Logan in a new film. 55 56 Jackman clarified that his lapsing contract with Fox, which reportedly would need to be renegotiated after X-Men, Days of Future Past, 2014, 57 did not mean he was leaving the franchise, as he had been working movie by movie since X2, 2003. 58 He also stated, "I do want to do it with Jim and with producer Lauren Schuler Donner because we had such a great experience. I'm really proud of the Wolverine, 2013. 59 Later in the month, Mangold announced that the pre-production aspect of the film had not yet begun, nor the writing process, though he furthered this by stating, "I would say I'm not there yet. But I have taken finger to key. Let's say that. There's been typing. And ideas. And talking amongst all the principals." 60. Shortly after the release of The Wolverine, Mangold spoke of a potential sequel with the aim of not converting it into a Will the World Survive film, while also stressing his need, not to make the same picture again. 61-62 In December 2013, Jackman spoke of nearing the end of his tenure as the character, while stating that the film was in the very early stages of development. 63 Jackman also revealed that Mangold and he had begun speaking of potential ideas, adding, "Jim Mangold and I were literally on the phone last night talking about ideas, but there is no script and no writer yet, so it's a way off." 64 Mangold would later reveal that Jackman was very involved in developing the story, saying, "Hugh and I have been friends for almost 20 years now, and he was there every step of the way. For Hugh and I, the first goal was to construct something more intimate." Hugh often brought up The Wrestler, 2008, and Unforgiven, 1992, as examples. I used those references as well as others. I pitched to both Hugh and the studio that I had an idea for an extremely bloody, existential Little Miss Sunshine, 2006. 28. By March 2014, a decision was made to begin shooting after Bryan Singer's X-Men, Apocalypse, 2016, with the tentative plan to shoot the films back-to-back 65-66 with producer Hutch Parker stating, "The goal will be X-Men, Apocalypse for 2016, which means at the latest filming begins in summer 2015, and then the same thing with Wolverine, either before or after, but based on the script." 67 Also in March, 20th Century Fox set a release date of March 3, 2017. 68-69 Mangold boarded the project as director. 70 Jackman signed on to reprise his role. 71 and David James Kelly was hired to pen the screenplay. 72 In April 2014, Jackman spoke about his ambitious feelings for the character of Logan while mentioning that they can go further than what they achieved in the Wolverine. 73 Jackman also expressed his feelings of finality with portraying the character of Logan. 74 While in terms of storyline, he explained that nothing had been decided as of yet. 75 Jackman concluded by highlighting that the success of the script development would determine whether Jackman would return at all. 76 I haven't signed on. I'm genuinely at that point where unless it's better than the last one I'm not going to do it. I think it has to be better. I can still see where we can improve on the last one. I love the intimacy of that story, I like the small stuff, I like that it was a little unexpected. 77. In February 2015, Patrick Stewart spoke of discussions about the third Wolverine film, centering around a team-up between Jackman's Wolverine and himself as Charles Xavier. 78-79 with Stewart stating to Mark Mohan that, "We have been talking about a Wolverine movie, which would team Hugh Jackman and myself together. That would be a very different sort of X-Men from the 4 movies that I've already done." 80-81 By April 2015, Michael Green had taken over screenwriting duties, with Mangold still actively overseeing the script development process. 82 In September 2015, Jackman spoke of the writers being halfway through the script, and that the story would delve into the relationship between Wolverine and Professor X. 83 To which he added, "I think it's a really important relationship, but I want to see signs of that quasi-father/son sort of relationship that has not been seen before, and sides of particularly Professor X that have not been seen before." 84-85 Jackman spoke of Mangold's plan to start filming the next year, though he expressed uncertainty as to filming locations. 86 Also in September, Mark Miller, creative consultant for Fox, confirmed that Mangold's film would be a loose adaptation of the Old Man Logan story he had written in 2008, something that was hinted at earlier by Jackman. 87 In October 2016, the title of the film was announced as Logan. 88-89. In January 2016, Jackman confirmed that Mangold had a full screenplay, albeit not complete. 90 The following month, Liev Schreiber expressed interest in returning to portray Victor Creed/Sabretooth, with Jackman himself mentioning Mangold's vision to Schreiber. After the film's release, it was revealed by Jackman that originally the script had the character play a role in the film, but that Sabretooth was excluded from the final screenplay. 91, 92, 93, 94, 95 By April 2016, Mangold had chosen Boyd Holbrook to portray the main antagonist of the movie. 96, 97, 98 The chief of security for a global corporation that is pursuing Wolverine. 99, 100 Also by April, Richard E. Grant was cast as a villainous mad scientist. 101, 102 and Stephen Merchant had also been cast. 103, 104, 105, 106, 107 In May, Eric LaSalle and Elise Neal were cast supporting roles. 108, 109 and Elizabeth Rodriguez entered negotiations for a small but key role. 110, 111 Mangold felt Dafne Keen was a perfect choice for X-23 after seeing her audition tape, but Fox wanted to continue the casting process. so Mangold brought Stewart to see Keen's tape and he praised her and he had Jackman to read with her. 112 Also in May, producer Simon Kinberg revealed that filming had already begun, and confirmed that the movie would be R-rated. Regarding the setting and tonality 113 he stated, "It takes place in the future, and as you and others have reported, it is an R-rated movie. It's violent, it's kind of like a Western in its tone. It's just a very cool, different film." 115 Jackman wanted the film's ending be like Unforgiven, but Mangold was keen to do the ending where Logan dies. 116. The film included some vintage X-Men comic books, used both to advance the plot and as a metafictional reference. The director clarified that Marvel Comics allowed this on the condition that they could use actual characters and designs, but not use any real comic book issues. As a result, the comic book covers and pages seen in the film were made specifically for it, by writer Joe Quesada and artist Dan Panosian. Mangold commented that the reality was that, like in Unforgiven, when Clint Eastwood runs into Richard Harris, who's writing these fictional accounts of the great Western heroes, or Pat Garrett in Billy the Kid, where you've got these aging heroes who kind of are Twilight versions of their own legends. I think that idea, of being a kind of celebrity, or like a sports star long past your heyday, was really interesting for me to investigate with this kind of world. 117 Panosian made 10 fake comic book covers, and interior arts were unused. He pointed that the arts had to resemble the style used in the Bronze Age of comic books, and pointed out that they also served to contrast their campy style with the darker tone of the live-action film itself. He said that the colors and art itself juxtaposed against the raw and savage world in the film capture just how much innocence has been lost over time. 118. In terms of the series timeline, the film makes a conscious effort to be as standalone as possible, and not intermingle with past X-Men movies. Jackman stated not only is it standalone in terms of timeline and tone, it's a slightly different universe. It's actually a different paradigm, and that will become clear. 119. Mangold further commented, "I gave them many escape valves. We take place in 2029, and X-Men Days of Future Past ends in 2024. There's 5 blank years there that are wide open to seeing how things got from here to there. Or else you could do what I would advocate, which is imagine a different world and create a new movie, and you don't need the permission of the other movies." 120. Filming. Principal photography for Logan took place in New Orleans, Louisiana. On March 5, 2015, James Mangold anticipated that filming would begin early next year. 121 Prior to filming, the film was given the false title of Juarez to lower the visibility of production, but the local media eventually uncovered the ruse. 122 123 124 125 On March 1, 2016, the Times-Picayune had confirmed that Mangold's film was preparing to shoot in New Orleans, Louisiana, with a starting schedule of May. 126 Producers Kinberg, Schuler Donner, and Parker chose to film in Louisiana because of its popularity in filmmaking locations. 127 As well as its filming incentive, which includes a 40% tax credit for movie productions, though it requires a minimum expenditure of $300,000. 128 Principal photography was confirmed to have begun in New Orleans, with an original shooting schedule occurring from April 25 to August 13, 2016. 127 129 130 albeit shooting was altered to start on May 2, 2016. 131. On May 23, 2016, filming took place at the NASA Michoud plant in New Orleans East. 132 With Jackman being spotted, not far from Slidell, shooting a fight scene outdoors on the property. 133 On May 26, 2016, the intersection of LA 16 at US 51 was closed for a time due to filming, with local storefronts donning faux signage to transform Amite City, and east of Amite near Bell Road. 134 It was revealed that scenes were filmed prior in Hussar on May 25, 2016, with a scheduled daytime shoot to occur at the Green Lawn Cemetery in Hammond on May 27, 2016. 135 Filming took place from June 9, 2016, until June 10, 2016, in New Orleans and Metairie, respectively. 136. On June 1, 2016, it was confirmed that 20th Century Fox had applied to film exterior scenes for Juarez on Louisiana Highway 15 between Faraday and Clayton from June 12, 2016, up until June 16, 2016. 137 At the Faraday Plaza Shopping Center. 138 While a portion of U.S. Route 425 between Faraday and Clayton would be closed for a 5-day period in connection with Fox's production. 139 140 On June 1, 2016, the Concordia Sentinel revealed that Sicily Island High School and a house in Sicily Island would be used in the production, while a crash scene would be shot on U.S. Route 425 just outside of Faraday. 139 Producers Kinberg, Schuler Donner, and Parker chose to film in Faraday, Louisiana, because of Concordia Parish's beautiful countryside and green cornfields. 141 On June 16, 2016, Juarez was originally scheduled to move on towards Sicily Island, however, additional periods of shooting were added. 142 Natchez, Mississippi, had been chosen by producers of Juarez as the next filming location, for an upcoming scene which required the casting truck drivers. 143 That would be filmed between June 14 up until June 28, 2016. 144. On July 12, 2016, the Albuquerque Journal confirmed that Juarez would move on to its third major filming location, New Mexico, which ran through August in Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, Abiquiu, Tierra Amarilla, and Chama. 145 146 147 148 149 150 The New Mexico Film Office revealed that the production employed about 130 new Mexican crew members and 2 new Mexican cast members, as well as 600 extras throughout the production, the film office stated. 151 On July 17, 2016, it was reported that the production of Juarez was in the process of casting to work on a scene filmed on July 22, 2016, in Albuquerque, New Mexico. 152 On July 25, 2016, it was reported that filming had begun in the Northern Meadows neighborhood of Rio Rancho, while a few miles further down King Boulevard there was an elaborate set built with a toppled water tower. 147 That would be used for exterior shots until June 27, 2016. 153 154 On August 11, 2016, it was reported that the production of Juarez were in the process of seeking worn-out cars to work on an upcoming scene filmed on August 12, 2016, in Albuquerque, New Mexico. 155 156 Principal photography was confirmed to have ended in New Mexico on August 13, 2016. 157 158 159 with an altered shooting schedule occurring from May 2 to August 13, 2016. 127 Post-production began subsequent to filming closure on August 23, 2016. 160 161 162 Post-production. Hugh Jackman as Logan, with makeup and visual special effects. Film editor Michael McCusker was finishing work on Mangold's Logan, during the period of October 7, 2016, wherein he spoke of going through the dailies and breaking them down, and figuring out the structure of one scene which he described as a complicated, multi-component scene. 163 McCusker spoke of the task being rather time-consuming, on the front end, albeit stating, "I am looking at the back-end experience with Mangold as the more important experience. I don't want to be searching for stuff for him, I want to be working towards getting the cut right." 163 McCusker concluded by stating that another editor on Logan has used for post-production. 163 Chaz Jarrett was the overall visual effects supervisor and visual effects company Image Engine worked on most of the visual effects on Logan. 164 165 166 Music. See also, Logan, Soundtrack. In July 2016, Cliff Martinez was announced as the composer of Logan's musical score. 167 168 169 170 In December 2016, Mangold announced that Marco Beltrami, who had previously collaborated with Mangold on 310 to Yuma, 2007, and The Wolverine, 2013, would take over from Martinez and score Logan instead. 171. Beltrami's musical score received critical acclaim, praising the composition and the minimalistic approach. 172 Jonathan Broxton, in his critical review, wrote there will be a significant disconnect between it and those who grew up listening to Michael Kamen, John Ottman, and John Powell's X-Men scores, because Beltrami's Logan is just so different from anything we have heard in a superhero movie before. On the one hand, this is commendable, bucking expectations and taking an entirely new approach to a well-defined musical genre is not an easy thing to do, but that's exactly what Beltrami has done here. On the other hand, listeners will still need to be comfortable with music that shifts between being dissonant, ambient, and jazzy, and which has more in common with the work of Ennio Morricone, Jerry Fielding, Elliot Goldenthal, and Bernard Herrmann, than anyone who has scored a superhero movie before. If you're cool with that, then Logan will find a way to at least entertain you and allow you to experience its unusual tonal palette. If not, then you may find yourself recoiling in horror like Caliban from the Sun, or experiencing a psychic attack of your own. 173. Influences. The film takes visual, tonal, and thematic inspiration from classic Western and noir cinema, with director James Mangold having stated that Logan's influences included visual reference points of cinema, citing Shane, 1953, The Cowboys, 1972, Paper Moon, 1973, The Gauntlet, 1977, Unforgiven, 1992, Little Miss Sunshine, 2006, and The Wrestler, 2008. 174 175 176 177 Mangold was also inspired by the Dark Knight trilogy, saying it seemed to me that the only films of this ilk that did interest me, that I did admire, or to use Chris Nolan's movies as an example, the ones that have really moved me beyond just the spectacle. There was a very clear decision to apply a film genre to the material, if that makes any sense. 178. The film also takes tropes and themes of the cyberpunk, with focus put on automation affecting the world of a near future. 179. Mangold spoke of visual framing, while noting that he does not necessarily think about the comic book related sort, instead highlighting the variety of stylistic influences that went into Logan. 180. These influences include film noir framings and classic Hollywood filmmaking styles, as well as the Germanic expressionist filmmaking style of the early 20th century, which Mangold stated has a commonality with comic book art. 181. Mangold highlighted strong foregrounds, playing things in depth. You have to make an image say more within that one image. 182. Using the image of Logan at a funeral as an example of his stylistic logic. 183. Mangold concluded by mentioning the aspects within modern filmmaking, primarily everything in close-up format. For Logan, his aim was to set frames that are descriptive, and evocative of comic book panels and classical filmmaking. 184. Release. Theatrical. Logan premiered at the 67th Berlin International Film Festival on February 17, 2017, in Berlin, Germany 185, where it was selected to be screened out of competition 186-187 alongside The Bar, Final Portrait, The Midwife, T2 Trainspotting, and Viceroy's House 188, 189, 190 before screening in the United States, where it was given a wide release on March 3, 2017. 191, 192, 193, 194 in October 2015, Fox confirmed that Logan would be released in the IMAX format. 195, 196, 197 in the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. The film was preceded by a short film, Deadpool, No Good Deed. In it, Deadpool notices a man getting robbed, and springs into action, but first has to change into his costume in a phone booth. As he is finishing up, the man is shot. The short film ends with Deadpool commenting on the strangeness of the phone booth's presence, and eating the man's ice cream. The teaser met with positive reviews. Ryan Reynolds posted an extended version of the teaser via his YouTube channel the day after the film's release. 198. One Last Time promotion and future. Prior to the confirmation that the then untitled Logan would be his final appearance in the X-Men film franchise, Jackman initially denied such rumors. Jackman stated that he was inspired by Michael Keaton's performance in Birdman, and wished to portray the character of Wolverine until his death. 199-200 in July 2015, Jackman posted an image of Logan giving the middle finger with a claw to his Twitter. The image, coupled with the hashtag #OneLastTime, signified that the film would be his last appearance as Logan and officially announced his decision to stop playing the character he had been portraying for the past 17 years. 201, 202, 203 Eventually it earned Jackman the Guinness World Record of the longest career as a live-action Marvel superhero. 204. During an appearance on the Dr. Oz show in May 2015, Jackman clarified the confusion over the conflicting sentiments by stating bluntly that the film would be his final portrayal of the character. 205, 206 In an interview with Willem Dafoe on Variety Studio, Actors on Actors, Jackman revealed that Jerry Seinfeld helped convince him to quit the role during a dinner after Jackman asked him why he had decided to end the show. Seinfeld replied, "I've always believed, you should never spend everything creatively because it's almost Herculean to start up again. You should always have something in the tank," with Jackman summarizing his point with "leave the party before it gets too late" kind of theory. 207, 208. In December 2016, Ryan Reynolds revealed that he had been trying to convince Jackman to return for a crossover Deadpool film, urging fans to convince Hugh and campaign online. 209 In January 2017, Reynolds and Jackman spoke about the proposed project. Jackman stated, "I'm hesitating, because I could totally see how that's the perfect fit. But the timing may be wrong." 210. Jackman later stated that he would not reprise the role for a team-up film, specifying that he knew 2.5 years ago that Logan was the last one. 211. Jackman expressed interest in continuing to play Wolverine had the character been brought into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, saying that the prospect certainly would have made him pause and citing a desire to see the character interact with the Hulk and Iron Man. 212, 213 Amid rumors of Disney's prospective acquisition of 20th Century Fox's film division, it was revealed such a deal would indeed allow the X-Men related characters to appear in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. 214 During press for The Greatest Showman in December 2017, Jackman denied that he would reprise the role if the acquisition occurred. He stated that while he noted the irony and felt some initial disappointment upon learning the news, he planned on standing by his decision and wanted to see another actor portray the character in future films. 215. In spite of his adamancy, Reynolds confirmed that Jackman would reprise his role as Logan in Deadpool and Wolverine, 2024, on September 27, 2022. Slated for release on July 26, 2024, the film will see the characters integrated into the MCU. 216 The following month, Jackman elaborated that he wanted to return to the role after watching Deadpool, but since Logan was already being promoted as his final time portraying the character, he felt he had to honor that sentiment and straight up lied to journalists about his plans. He contacted Reynolds about reprising the role in August 2022, shortly before Reynolds met with Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige to discuss a third Deadpool film. 217 Shortly after the announcement, Reynolds and Jackman clarified that the film is set before Logan and would not retroactively contradict Wolverine's death. 218 As for the other principals and their prospective futures, although Patrick Stewart had stated that Logan would be the final time he played the role of Professor X. 219 220 221 he later said that he would be willing to return to the role in Deadpool 2 or Legion. 213 222 Though Legion's producers considered casting Stewart, they ultimately chose to utilize a younger version of the character portrayed by actor Harry Lloyd. 223 Nonetheless, Stewart would go on to portray the character again in the MCU film Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, where he played a variant of Charles Xavier who was the leader of the Illuminati before being killed by Wanda Maximoff. 224 225 He also reprised the role of Xavier in the MCU crossover film Avengers: Doomsday along with other past X-Men characters. Marketing. In April 2016, Fox decided not to showcase its upcoming movie releases, including Logan, at Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con, as the studio felt it could not prevent the piracy of custom trailers and exclusive footage routinely screened for fans in attendance. 226 227 On October 20, 2016, 20th Century Fox released a 90-second teaser trailer to promote Logan 228 following a 6-second sneak peek the prior day. 229 Later that day, 20th Century Fox released an international red band version of the trailer, featuring slightly more graphic violence than the original. 230 231 Empire chose the trailer as the best trailer of the year. 232 The Hollywood Reporter's Aaron Couch praised the trailer, and stated, "If Logan delivers on the promise of this trailer, it will be a true rarity in modern superhero movie making." 233 James Dyer of Empire heralded the trailer and its director, James Mangold, by stating, "We've had a veritable feast of great trailers, from John Wick to Rogue One, Assassin's Creed and A Cure for Wellness. But none, no matter how impressive, have been quite so artfully constructed as this glorious first look at Mangold's Logan." 234 Forrest Wickman of Slate called the trailer surprisingly mournful. 235 Home Media. Logan was released on Blu-ray, DVD, and 4K on May 23, 2017, and was released on digital HD on May 16, 2017. 236 The film became available to stream on Disney Plus on July 22, 2022, alongside Deadpool and Deadpool 2. 237 Logan Noir. On April 29, 2017, James Mangold announced via Twitter that a black and white version of the film entitled Logan Noir would have a limited theatrical run in U.S. theaters, an event set to begin on May 16, 2017. Mangold stated that Logan was shot as a color film with the awareness that it would play well as a black and white film. 238 The film was regraded and timed shot by shot for the Noir edition. 239 This version of the film is included on the digital HD release and also included in the DVD and Blu-ray combo pack. 240 241 Reception. Box office. Cast and crew members at the Berlin International Film Festival for the film's premiere in February 2017. Logan grossed $226.3 million in the United States and Canada and $392.7 million in other countries for a worldwide gross of $619.2 million, against a production budget of $97 million. Worldwide, the film had a global debut of $247.4 million from 82 markets, as well as the second biggest R-rated IMAX debut, with $20.6 million from 1,068 screens. 242 The film grossed $440.9 million in its first 13 days of release, surpassing the entire theatrical gross of The Wolverine, $414.8 million. 244 United States and Canada. Predictions for its opening in the US and Canada were revised upwards from $55 million to $80 million or even higher. 245, 246, 247, 248, 249 Fox, however, predicted an opening in the mid-$60 million range. 250 Some critics said the film's R rating, the second such for a X-Men film, might hinder the film's mass appeal. 246 2 days before the film's release, ticket-selling site Fandango reported that the film was outpacing all previous X-Men movies, except Deadpool, at the same point in their sales cycle. 251 Logan was released in 4,071 theaters, the widest release for an R-rated film, breaking American Sniper's previous record of 3,888 theaters. 580 theaters were premium large format screens, 245 including 381 IMAX theaters, setting the IMAX record for an R-rated film. 252 Logan earned $9.5 million from Thursday night previews, which began at 7 p.m. This marked the second biggest previews in the X-Men franchise, behind Deadpool's $12.7 million. 253 On its opening day, the film scored the biggest R-rated March opening with $33.1 million, breaking 300's previous record, as well as the third biggest R-rated opening day, after Deadpool, $47.3 million, and The Matrix Reloaded, $37.5 million. 254 Earning a total of $88.4 million during its opening weekend, the film scored the biggest Wolverine movie opening, the biggest R-rated March opening, the fourth biggest March opening weekend behind Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, $166 million, The Hunger Games, $152.5 million, and Alice in Wonderland, $116.1 million, the fifth largest X-Men opening, and the fourth biggest R-rated opening weekend overall, ninth in terms of inflation adjusted, behind Deadpool, $132.4 million, The Matrix Reloaded, $91.7 million, and American Sniper, $89.2 million. 255, 256, 257 This made it the highest opening weekend for a 2017 film at the time of its release, surpassing the Lego Batman movie, $53 million. 258, 259 It was also the biggest R-rated opening weekend that did not take place on a holiday. 260 Additionally, Logan achieved the fifth highest opening weekend for any 20th Century Fox film, trailing only behind Deadpool, $132.4 million, Star Wars, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, $108.4 million, X-Men, The Last Stand, $102.7 million, and X-Men, Days of Future Past, $90.8 million. 255 About 8.2% of the total ticket sales were in Canada, with premium large formats comprising $12.3 million, 15%, from 558 screens, and IMAX comprising $10 million, 12%, of the film's total opening weekend. 261. The opening weekend audience was 63% males and 83% people between 18 and 44 years old. 261 In an opening weekend poll conducted by Fandango, 71% of responders said that more superhero films should be rated R, while 86% were interested in seeing a more violent, adult X-Men film that weekend. Furthermore, 96% said they were excited to see Hugh Jackman, 94% were intrigued to see Patrick Stewart reprise his role as Professor X, and 76% were interested in watching newcomer Dafne. 262. In its second weekend, the film dropped 56.9%, grossing $38.1 million and finishing second at the box office behind newcomer Kong, Skull Island, $61 million. 244 In its third weekend, it made $17.8 million, finishing in third behind Beauty and the Beast, $174.8 million, and Kong, Skull Island, $27.8 million. 263 In its fourth weekend, it made $10.1 million, dropping 43.1% from the previous week and finishing fifth at the box office. 264. Other countries. Logan was projected to open as high as $105 million. However, US forecasters believed that it could post an even higher opening if it were to overperform in major markets, most notably China. It opened day and date in almost every major market except Japan, where Doraemon the movie 2017 was released. Fox ultimately decided to postpone the film's release there in order to avoid competition. 245 Through Sunday, the film exceeded expectations and posted a 5-day opening worth $159 million from 81 markets. This is Fox International's third biggest launch of all time, behind X-Men, Days of Future Past, $172 million, and Avatar, $164 million. 242 It debuted at number 1 in 80 markets, surpassing 50 Shades of Grey, $156 million, to have the highest international opening weekend for an R-rated film. It broke the record for the biggest R-rated IMAX release ever and the biggest 2D IMAX opening, with $10.6 million on 687 screens. 242. China is the movie's best-grossing market outside America, contributing $106 million in box office. 265 The film was the first to feature an age restriction warning in its marketing material, as required by a film promotion law that took effect on March 1, 2017. Nevertheless, the film is still trimmed by 14 minutes, totaling 123 minutes. It is very likely that the move was due to usual censorship by the State Administration of Press, Publication, Radio, Film, and Television, because of the violence depicted. 266 Despite such restrictions, the film managed to debut with a better-than-expected $48.9 million, including previews. According to data from Ant Group, Fox reported $46.3 million. This marked the second biggest X-Men opening in the country, trailing behind only Apocalypse. Tracking showed that the film opened with 85,000 screenings on Friday, which increased to about 95,000 on Saturday and Sunday, from a 9.98 million attendance. Included within that total was $4.4 million from 388 IMAX screens. 267. In Brazil, it recorded the biggest opening for Fox, and the 7th biggest opening overall, with $8.2 million. The top openings were in China, $46.3 million, Korea, $8.2 million, and Russia, $7.1 million. 242 In the UK, Logan made $11.4 million during its opening weekend, beating the Lego Batman movie to reach the number 1 spot, while also achieving the second highest opening weekend of the year, behind Sing. 268 Meanwhile, in India, the film debuted with an estimated 17 crore, $2.5 million, net, equating to a gross of $3.4 million, on 1,400 screens. According to Fox, that was the highest debut for any X-Men title in the territory, marginally ahead of X-Men: Apocalypse. While the debut was not enough to break any significant records, it ranked as the second biggest opening weekend for a Hollywood release in the January-March quarter, behind Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. 269. Critical response. The performances of Left to Right, Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, and Dafne received critical acclaim. On the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, 93% of 428 critics' reviews are positive, with an average rating of 8.0/10. The website's consensus reads, Hugh Jackman makes the most of his final outing as Wolverine with a gritty, nuanced performance in a violent but surprisingly thoughtful superhero action film that defies genre conventions. 270. Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, assigned the film a score of 77 out of 100, based on 51 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. 271 audiences polled by CinemaScore gave an average grade of A on an A+ to F scale, while post-track surveyed audiences gave the film 5 out of 5. 261 Some reviewers noted Logan as one of the greatest superhero films ever made. 272 critics praised the film for its emotional depth, Mangold's direction, action sequences, screenplay, uncompromising tone, thematic profundity, and the performances of Jackman, Keane and Stewart. 273 Better source needed. 274 Better source needed. Scott Kalura of IGN gave Logan a score of 9.7/10, and called it an emotional, heavy picture, but it's also an uplifting one that reminds us that it's okay to fight for something more, something better, and perhaps the best X-Men movie yet. 275 A doubt of the AV Club gave an A and said that the film manages to deliver the visceral goods, all the hardcore Wolverine action its fans could desire, while still functioning as a surprisingly thoughtful, even poignant drama. A terrific movie, no comic book qualifier required. 276 Chris Nashawati of Entertainment Weekly gave it a B, and called it both the most violent film in the series and the most sentimental one. When it's not showering you in blood, it's trying to make you spill tears. 277. Sherry Linden of The Hollywood Reporter reacted positively, saying, seamlessly melding Marvel mythology with Western mythology, director James Mangold has crafted an affectingly stripped-down standalone feature, one that draws its strength from Hugh Jackman's nuanced turn as a reluctant, all but dissipated hero. 278. Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian gave it 4 out of 5, stating it is more like a survivalist thriller than a superhero film, and signals its wintry quality with the title itself, and compared Wolverine's hitting of his truck during the film to Basil Fawlty from Fawlty Towers. 279 James Berardinelli of Real Views gave it 3.5 out of 4, and said in terms of tone and content, Logan is Deadpool's polar opposite, but both productions refuse to play by traditional superhero movie rules. With his glimpse into what superhero movies can be, James Mangold has given us something sadly lacking in recent genre entries, hope. 280. Brian Tallarico of RoachRebber.com stated, Logan has stakes that feel real, and fight choreography that's fluid and gorgeous instead of just computer-generated effects. Most importantly, Logan has characters with which you identify and about whom you care. It's not just great for a superhero movie, it's a great movie for any genre. 281. Brian Truitt of USA Today said, easily the best Wolverine outing, Logan is the Dark Knight of the mutant-filled X franchise, a gripping film that transcends the comic book genre by saying something important. 282. Peter Travers of Rolling Stone gave 3.5 out of 4, and called it a hard-ass, R-rated rager that explodes with action. 283 Amy Nicholson of MTV called it a phenomenal, throat-slashing, gut-stabbing superhero movie. 284 Germain Lucie of IO9 said, "Logan is beautiful, sophisticated, and still a kick-ass superhero film." 285 Debbie Holloway of Crosswalk gave the film 4 out of 5, praising how the script also has several powerful themes, and is truly deft in its handling of them. 286 Michael Rothman of Consequence of Sound called the film a game-changing masterpiece. 287 Matt Donato of We Got This Covered said, "It's not just one of the best superhero movies ever, it's a damn fine cinematic representation of the human condition in all its agonizing forms." 288 Joe Morgenstern of the Wall Street Journal said, "It's the best superhero film to come out of the comic book world, and I'm not forgetting Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight." 289 Jackman's acting as Wolverine has been praised, and his performance topped the Hollywood Reporter's greatest superhero movie performances of all time list. 290 Anthony Lane of The New Yorker was underwhelmed, commenting on the film's parallel with Shane. "These quiet images, from Shane, brand themselves on the mind, and the gunshots come as an overwhelming release, whereas when Logan and Laura unleash their furious scythes nothing feels settled or satisfied." 291 Mara Rainstein of Us Weekly gave the movie 2.5 out of 4, in a lukewarm review, said that the film loses its way during the 20 minutes too long journey. "For all the breathless talk about how Logan transcends the superhero genre, there's nothing groundbreaking about a road trip movie in which adults try to elude the bad guys to protect a super special child." 292 Michael Phillips of the Chicago Tribune gave it 2 out of 4 and said, "Logan is deadly serious, and while its gamer-style killing sprees are meant to be excitingly brutal, I found them numbing and, in the climax, borderline offensive." 293 Stephanie Zacharek of Time magazine said, "The grim side of human nature is all over James Mangold's Logan. But that doesn't necessarily make it a good movie." Hugh Michael Jackman, born October 12, 1968, is an Australian actor, singer, and producer. Beginning in theatre and television, Jackman landed his breakthrough role as Wolverine, playing it across the X-Men film franchise and in the Marvel Cinematic Universe from X-Men, 2000, to Deadpool and Wolverine, 2024. Prominent on both screen and stage, he has received various accolades, including a Primetime Emmy Award, a Grammy Award and 2 Tony Awards, along with nominations for an Academy Award and a British Academy Film Award. Jackman was appointed a Companion of the Order of Australia in 2019. Jackman has headlined films in various genres, including the romantic comedy Kate and Leopold, 2001, the action horror Van Helsing, 2004, the drama The Prestige, 2006, the period romance Australia, 2008, the science fiction Real Steel, 2011, the musical Les Miserables, 2012, the thriller Prisoners, 2013, the musical The Greatest Showman, 2017, the political drama The Front Runner, 2018, and the crime drama Bad Education, 2019. For his role as Jean Valjean in Les Miserables, he was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Actor and won a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor, and for The Greatest Showman soundtrack, Jackman received a Grammy Award for Best Compilation Soundtrack. He also provided voice roles in the animated films Flushed Away and Happy Feet, both 2006, Rise of the Guardians, 2012, and Missing Link, 2019. Jackman is also known for his early theatre roles in the original Australian productions of Beauty and the Beast as Gaston in 1995 and Sunset Boulevard as Joe Gillis in 1996. He earned a Laurence Olivier Award nomination for his performance as Curly McLean in the West End revival of Oklahoma. In 1998. In 2002, he made his American stage debut in a concert of Carousel as Billy Bigelow at Carnegie Hall. On Broadway, he won the 2004 Tony Award and Drama Desk Award for Best Actor in a Musical for his role of Peter Allen in The Boy from Oz. From 2021 to 2023, Jackman starred as con man Harold Hill in the Broadway revival of the musical The Music Man, earning another Tony Award nomination. A four-time host of the Tony Awards, he won an Emmy Award for hosting the 2005 ceremony. He also hosted the 81st Academy Awards in 2009. Early life. Jackman was born in Sydney, New South Wales, to English parents Grace McNeil, née Greenwood, and Christopher John Jackman, 1936 to 2021, to a Cambridge-educated accountant. 3. His parents moved to Australia in 1967 as part of the £10 Palms immigration scheme. 4. Thus, in addition to his Australian citizenship, Jackman holds British citizenship by virtue of being born to UK-born parents. 5. 6. One of his paternal great-grandfathers, Nicholas Isidore Bellas, was Greek. 7. 8. From the Ottoman Empire, now in Greece. 9. 10. His parents were devout Christians, having been converted by evangelist Billy Graham after their marriage. 4. Jackman has 4 older siblings and was the second of his parents' children to be born in Australia. 11. He also has a younger half-sister, from his mother's remarriage. 12. His parents divorced when he was 8, and Jackman remained in Australia with his father and 2 brothers, while his mother moved back to England with Jackman's 2 sisters. 4. 13. 14. As a child, Jackman liked the outdoors, spending much time at the beach and on camping trips and school holidays all over Australia. He wanted to see the world, saying, "I used to spend nights looking at atlases. I decided I wanted to be a chef on a plane. Because I'd been on a plane and there was food on board, I presumed there was a chef. I thought that would be an ideal job." 15. Jackman went to primary school at Pymble Public School and later attended the all-boys Knox Grammar School on Sydney's Upper North Shore, where he starred in its production of My Fair Lady in 1985 and became the school captain in 1986. 16. He spent a gap year in 1987. 17. Working at Uppingham School in England as a physical education teacher. 18. 19. On his return, he studied at the University of Technology Sydney, graduating in 1991 with a BA in Communications. 20. In his final year of university, he took a drama course to make up additional credits. The class did Václav Havel's The Memorandum with Jackman as the lead. 11. He later commented, "In that week I felt more at home with those people than I did in the entire 3 years at university." 21. After obtaining his BA, Jackman completed the 1-year course The Journey at the Actors Centre in Sydney. 11. About studying acting full-time, he stated, "It wasn't until I was 22 that I ever thought about my hobby being something I could make a living out of. As a boy, I'd always had an interest in theatre. But the idea at my school was that drama and music were to round out the man. It wasn't what one did for a living. I got over that. I found the courage to stand up and say, I want to do it. 22. After completing The Journey, he was offered a role on the popular soap opera Neighbours but turned it down. 23. To attend the Western Australian Academy of Performing Arts of Edith Cowan University in Perth, Western Australia, from which he graduated in 1994. 24. Jackman has said he always loved acting, but when I started at drama school I was like the dunce of the class. It just wasn't coming right to me. Everyone was cooler, everyone seemed more likely to succeed, everyone seemed more natural at it, and in retrospect, I think that is good. I think it is good to come from behind as an actor. I think it is good to go into an audition thinking, man, I've got to be at my best to get this gig. 25. Career. 1995 to 1999, early career in theater. On the night of his final Academy graduation performance, Jackman received a phone call offering him a role on Corelli. I was technically unemployed for 13 seconds. Corelli, devised by Australian actress Denise Roberts, was a 10-part drama series on ABC, Jackman's first major professional job, and where he met his future wife Deborah Lee Furness. Jackman stated that meeting my wife was the greatest thing to come out of it. 22. The show lasted only one season. After Corelli, Jackman went on the stage in Melbourne. In 1996, Jackman played Gaston in the local Walt Disney production of Beauty and the Beast, and Joe Gillis in Sunset Boulevard. 11 During his stage musical career in Melbourne, he starred in the 1998 Midsummer Festival cabaret production Summer Cabaret. He also hosted Melbourne's Carols by Candlelight and Sydney's Carols in the Domain. Jackman's early film works include Erskineville Kings and Paperback Hero, 1999, and his television work includes Law of the Land, Halifax FP, Blue Heelers, and Banjo Patterson's The Man from Snowy River. Jackman became known outside Australia in 1998, when he played the leading role of Curly in the Royal National Theatre's acclaimed stage production of Oklahoma, in London's West End. 11 The performance earned him an Olivier Award nomination for Best Actor in a Musical. Jackman said, "I totally felt like it can't get any better than this. On some level that production will be one of the highlights of my career." 26. He also starred in the 1999 film version of the same stage musical, which has been screened in many countries. 2000 to 2004, breakthrough with Wolverine and the X-Men. Jackman had his breakthrough role playing Wolverine in Bryan Singer's X-Men, 2000, a superhero film based on the Marvel Comics team of the same name. 27 Co-starring Patrick Stewart, James Marsden, Famke Janssen, and Ian McKellen, the film tells the story of a group of mutants, whose superhuman powers make them distrusted by normal humans, but who fight to protect humans from villains. The role was originally written for Russell Crowe, who instead suggested Jackman for the part. 28 Jackman says that his wife advised him against taking on the role, as she found it ridiculous. 29 He initially studied wolves to develop his character, as he thought that Wolverine alluded to wolves. 30 X-Men was successful at the box office, earning $296 million US. 31 The role earned him a Saturn Award for Best Actor. 32. Wolverine was tough for Jackman to portray because he had few lines, but much emotion to convey in them. To prepare, he watched Clint Eastwood in the Dirty Harry movies and Mel Gibson in Mad Max 2. There were guys who had relatively little dialogue, like Wolverine had, but you knew and felt everything. I'm not normally one to copy, but I wanted to see how these guys achieved it. 33. Jackman was adamant about doing his own stunts for the movie. We worked a lot on the movement style of Wolverine, and I studied some martial arts. I watched a lot of Mike Tyson fights, especially his early fights. There's something about his style, the animal rage, that seemed right for Wolverine. I kept saying to the writers, don't give me long, choreographed fights for the sake of it. Don't make the fights pretty. 34. Jackman also had to get used to wearing Wolverine's claws. He said, every day in my living room, I'd just walk around with those claws, to get used to them. I've got scars on one leg, punctures straight through the cheek, on my forehead. I'm a bit clumsy. I'm lucky I didn't tell them that when I auditioned. 15. Jackman signing autographs for The Boy from Oz outside Broadway in 2003. At 6 feet 2 in, 1.88 m, Jackman stands 11 in, 28 centimeters, taller than Wolverine, who is said in the original comic book to be 5 feet 3 in, 1.60 m. 35-36 Hence, the filmmakers were frequently forced to shoot Jackman at unusual angles or only from the waist up to make him appear shorter than he actually is, and his co-stars wore platform soles. Jackman was also required to add a great deal of muscle for the role, and in preparing for the fourth film in the series, he bench pressed over 136 kilograms 300 pounds. 37. Jackman reprised his role in 2003's X2, 2000, and SIX's X-Men, The Last Stand, and the 2009 prequel X-Men Origins, Wolverine, where Troye Sivan played the younger version of James Howlett. He also cameoed as Wolverine in 2011's X-Men, First Class. He returned for the role of Wolverine again in 2013's The Wolverine, a standalone sequel taking place after the events of X-Men: The Last Stand, and reprised the character in the 2014 sequel X-Men: Days of Future Past and briefly in the 2016 follow-up X-Men: Apocalypse. 38 In 2015, Jackman announced that the 2017 sequel to The Wolverine, Logan, was the final time that he would play the role. 39 It earned him the Guinness World Record of longest career as a live-action Marvel superhero, although this record has since been surpassed. 41 Jackman starred as Leopold in the 2001 romantic comedy film Kate and Leopold, a role for which he received a Best Actor Golden Globe nomination. 11 Jackman plays a Victorian English duke who accidentally time travels to 21st century Manhattan, where he meets Kate, Meg Ryan, a cynical advertising executive. In 2001, Jackman also starred in the action/drama Swordfish with John Travolta and Halle Berry. This was the second time Jackman worked with Berry, and the two have worked together thrice more in the X-Men movies. He hosted an episode of Saturday Night Live in 2001. In 2002, Jackman sang the role of Billy Bigelow in the musical Carousel in a special concert performance at Carnegie Hall with the Orchestra of St. Luke's. In 2004, Jackman won the Tony Award and the Drama Desk Award for Outstanding Actor in a Musical for his 2003 to 2004 Broadway portrayal of Australian songwriter and performer Peter Allen in the hit musical The Boy from Oz, which he also performed in Australia in 2006. 11 In addition, Jackman hosted the Tony Awards in 2003, 2004, and 2005, garnering positive reviews. His hosting of the 2004 Tony Awards earned him an Emmy Award for Outstanding Individual Performer in a Variety, Musical, or Comedy Program. After 2003's X2, Jackman played the title role of monster killer Gabriel Van Helsing in the 2004 film Van Helsing. 11 Jackman and the film were noted in Bruce A. McClelland's book Slayers and Their Vampires, A Cultural History of Killing the Dead. 2005 to 2007, Hollywood success. Jackman in New York Harbor in 2006. Jackman was asked to consider taking on the role of James Bond before Daniel Craig was chosen to play the character, but turned it down due to other commitments. Speaking to the British Press Association in 2011, Jackman said, "I was about to shoot X-Men 2 and Wolverine had become this thing in my life and I didn't want to be doing two such iconic characters at once." 42. Alongside Christian Bale, Michael Caine, and Scarlett Johansson, Jackman starred in The Prestige, 2006, a mystery thriller from Christopher Nolan. Jackman portrayed Robert Angier, an aristocratic magician who builds up a rivalry with contemporary Alfred Borden, Bale, in an attempt to one-up each other in the art of deception. After reading the script, Jackman expressed interest in starring in the film, and Nolan believed that the actor had the qualities of the character. 43 Jackman based his portrayal of Angier on 1950s-era American magician Channing Pollock. 44 The Prestige was acclaimed and a box office success. 45-46. Jackman portrayed three different characters in Darren Aronofsky's science fiction film The Fountain: Tommy Creo, a neuroscientist, who is torn between his wife, Izzy, Rachel Weisz, who is dying of a brain tumor, and his work at trying to cure her, Captain Tomás Creo, a Spanish conquistador in 1532 Seville, and a future astronaut, Tom, traveling to a golden nebula in an eco-spacecraft seeking to be reunited with Izzy. Jackman said The Fountain was his most difficult film thus far due to the physical and emotional demands of the part. Citation needed. Jackman also starred in Woody Allen's 2006 film Scoop opposite Scarlett Johansson. That year he also reprised the role of Wolverine in X-Men: The Last Stand. He rounded out 2006 with two animated films, Happy Feet, directed by George Miller, in which he voiced the part of Memphis, an emperor penguin, singing Heartbreak Hotel, and Flushed Away, where Jackman supplied the voice of a rat named Roddy who ends up being flushed down a family's toilet into the London sewer system, Jackman's fourth film co-starring with Ian McKellen. Citation needed. In 2007, Jackman produced and guest-starred in the television musical dramedy series Viva Laughlin, which was cancelled by CBS after 2 episodes. 47 In 2007, Jackman became the patron of the Actors Centre Australia where he studied, and remains so. Citation needed. 2008 to 2011, return to Broadway. Hugh Jackman at the Sydney premiere for Real Steel in September 2011. In 2008, director Baz Luhrmann cast Jackman to replace Russell Crowe as the male lead in his much-publicised epic film, Australia, which co-starred Nicole Kidman. The movie was released in late November 2008 in Australia and the US. Jackman played a tough, independent cattle drover, who reluctantly helps an English noblewoman in her quest to save both her philandering husband's Australian cattle station and the mixed-race Aboriginal child she finds there. Of the movie, Jackman said, "This is pretty much one of those roles that had me pinching myself all the way through the shoot. I got to shoot a big-budget, shamelessly old-fashioned romantic epic set against one of the most turbulent times in my native country's history, while, at the same time, celebrating that country's natural beauty, its people, its cultures. I'll die a happy man knowing I've got this film on my CV." 48. That year, People magazine named Jackman its 2008 Sexiest Man Alive. 49. Jackman co-starred with Daniel Craig on Broadway at the Schoenfeld Theatre in a limited engagement of the play A Steady Rain, which ran from September 10, 2009 to December 6, 2009. 50. Jackman had a one-man show at the Curran Theatre in San Francisco from 3 to 15 May 2011. 51. The production was a mixture of his favorite Broadway and Hollywood musical numbers, backed by a 17-piece orchestra, from shows including Oklahoma and The Boy from Oz. The show had a runtime of approximately 100 minutes, and also included slideshows of Jackman's youth, family, and work, as well as some one-on-one interaction with the audience. Jackman was backed by fellow musical theater veterans Merle Dandridge and Angel Rita. 52-53. He later returned to Broadway in a new show, Hugh Jackman, back on Broadway at the Broadhurst Theatre, which began performances on October 25, 2011 and concluded on January 1, 2012. 54. 2012 to 2018, award success, retiring Wolverine, and film musicals. Jackman at the 2015 San Diego Comic-Con. In a November 2012 release, Jackman voiced the role of E. Aster Bunny Munt, the Easter Bunny, in the animated film Rise of the Guardians 55, while his image was licensed to represent the skullduggery pleasant character Saracen Rue in the spin-off novel Tanith Lo-In. The Maleficent 7, published December 2012. 56. Jackman starred as Jean Valjean in Tom Hooper's Les Miserables, an adaptation of the musical. The film opened on December 25, 2012. 57. 58. 59. For the role, he lost 15 pounds and later had to regain 30 pounds to mirror his character's newfound success. 60. He won the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor, Motion Picture Musical or Comedy in January 2013 for this performance and received his first Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. 61. Jackman appeared alongside Kate Winslet in movie 43, an ensemble comedy, in January 2013. 62. Jackman, along with actress Kristen Wiig, was featured on You've Got the Look, a song by comedy hip-hop group The Lonely Island on their third album, The Whack Album, released in June 2013. Jackman returned to Broadway in the new play, The River, which ran at the Circle in the Square Theatre from October 2014 to February 2015. 63. Jackman at the Japanese premiere of his 2017 film, The Greatest Showman. In November and December 2015, Jackman made a national tour of Australia with his show Broadway to Oz. He performed a range of songs from Broadway musicals, from Les Miserables to a Peter Allen tribute, including classics such as I Still Call Australia Home, with his 150-piece orchestra, choir, and backup dancers. 64 The show began at Melbourne's Rod Laver Arena and proceeded to Qantas Credit Union Arena, Brisbane Entertainment Centre, the Adelaide Entertainment Centre, and the Perth Arena. Jackman then portrayed the villain Blackbeard in the film Pen, which revolved around the backstories of J.M. Barrie's characters Peter Pan and Captain Hook. The movie received generally negative reviews and was a failure at the box office. 65 In 2016, Jackman played fictional ski coach, Bronson Peary, in Eddie the Eagle 66, which portrayed how Eddie the Eagle Edwards became the first competitor to represent Great Britain in Olympic ski jumping in 1988. 67. Jackman had an uncredited cameo as Wolverine in the 2016 film X-Men, Apocalypse. 68 In 2017, he reprised the character for what was intended to be the final time in the third Wolverine film, Logan. 69 Jackman's performance and the film were critically acclaimed, and it is regarded as one of the greatest superhero films of all time. 74 His 17-year spanning long performance as Wolverine, Jackman topped the Hollywood Reporter's greatest superhero movie performances of all time list. 71 That year, he also starred as P.T. Barnum in the musical The Greatest Showman. 72 He received a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor, Motion Picture Musical or Comedy nomination for the film, his third Golden Globe nomination, and also received a Grammy Award for Best Soundtrack Album. 73. In 2018, he starred as American Senator Gary Hart in Jason Reitman's political drama film The Front Runner, which chronicled the rise of Hart as a Democratic presidential candidate in 1988, and his subsequent fall from grace when media reports surfaced of his extramarital affair. In 2019, he voiced the character Sir Lionel Frost in the animated film Missing Link. 2019, present, concert tour, The Music Man and reprising Wolverine. In 2019, Jackman went on his first world tour called The Man, The Music, The Show, to perform songs from the album, The Greatest Showman, original motion picture soundtrack, and Broadway/Hollywood musical numbers. 74 Comprising 88 shows, the tour visits North America, Europe, and Oceania. It began in May 2019, in Glasgow, Scotland, and concluded in October 2019, in San Antonio, United States. 75 In the 2019 Queen's Birthday Honours, Jackman was appointed a Companion of the Order of Australia for eminent service to the performing arts as an acclaimed actor and performer, and to the global community, particularly as an advocate for poverty eradication. 76-77. Jackman performing during TMT's tour. Jackman starred in the comedy drama Bad Education, 2019, opposite Allison Janney. 78 Jackman and Laura Dern starred in Florian Zeller's film The Sun, adapted from Zeller's own play of the same name. 79-80. He returned to Broadway in a revival of The Music Man, playing Harold Hill, which began previews in December 2021 and played from February 2022 to January 2023. 81 For his performance, Jackman received his second nomination for the Tony Award for Best Actor in a Musical. 82 The revival received mixed reviews but was a success at the box office. 83. Jackman reprised his role as Wolverine, in Deadpool and Wolverine, starring Ryan Reynolds, set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. 84 It was released on July 26, 2024. 85. About training to reprise his Wolverine role, Jackman said, "I was thrilled. My body was a little sore at the beginning, but I was thrilled that my body was still responding. And I realized how good it is for your brain. But the hardest bit, the food. I have to eat a lot. For me, for my body type, I'm naturally skinny. To get the size on, That's the hardest bit. That's the bit that does my head in. 86. From April to June 2025, Jackman starred in and produced Sexual Misconduct of the Middle Classes, performing as John at the Minetta Lane Theater, off-Broadway. 87. From March to April 2026, he is set to reprise the role at the same venue. 88. Other ventures. Production company. In 2005, Jackman joined with longtime assistant John Palermo to form a production company, Seed Productions, whose first project was Viva Laughlin in 2007. Jackman's wife Deborah Lee Furness is also involved in the company, and Palermo had 3 rings made with a unity inscription for himself, Furness, and Jackman. 89. Jackman said, "I'm very lucky in the partners I work with in my life, Deb and John Palermo. It really works. We all have different strengths. I love it. It's very exciting." 90. Philanthropy. Jackman is a longtime proponent of microcredit, the extension of very small loans to prospective entrepreneurs in impoverished countries. He is a vocal supporter of Muhammad Yunus, microcredit pioneer, and the 2006 Nobel Peace Prize winner. 91. On April 14, 2009, Jackman posted on his Twitter page that he would donate $100,000 to one individual's favorite nonprofit organization. 92. On April 21, 2009, he revealed his decision to donate $50,000 to Charity Water and $50,000 to Operation of Hope. 93. 94. Jackman is a global advisor of the Global Poverty Project, for which he narrated a documentary. 95. Jackman hosted a preview of the Global Poverty Project presentation in New York with Donna Karan, Lisa Fox, and his wife Deborah Lee Furness. 96. Jackman supports the Art of Elysium. 97. And the MPTV Fund Foundation. 98. And he and Furness are patrons of the Bone Marrow Institute in Australia. 99. In December 2009, during the 21st annual Gypsy of the Year competition, it was announced that Jackman and fellow actor Daniel Craig had raised $1,549,953 for Broadway Cares/Equity Fights AIDS from 6 weeks of curtain appeals at their hit Broadway drama, A Steady Rain. 100. Jackman continued his support of Broadway Cares in 2011, raising nearly $1 million during his run of Hugh Jackman, back on Broadway. 101. Jackman also narrated the 2008 documentary about global warming, The Burning Season. 102. He is also a World Vision Ambassador and participated in the Climate Week NYC 103 ceremony on September 21, 2009. 104. 105. Jackman launched the Laughing Man Coffee Company in 2011. He founded 2 cafes in Lower Manhattan, and also sold the coffee online, before it also became a brand for Keurig. Jackman founded the company after a trip to Ethiopia in 2009 for World Vision, where he met a fair trade coffee farmer named Tukale. All profits from Laughing Man Coffee go to the Laughing Man Foundation, which supports educational programs, community development, and social entrepreneurs around the world. 106. 107. Personal life. Jackman married Deborah Lee Furness on April 11, 1996, at St. John's in Turok, Victoria, a suburb of Melbourne. 108. They met on the set of Australian TV show Corelli. 109. Jackman personally designed an engagement ring for Furness, and their wedding rings bore the Sanskrit inscription Om Paramar Me Namar, translated as "We dedicate our union to a greater source." 109. Furness had 2 miscarriages. 109. After which she and Jackman adopted 2 children. 110. 111. 112. Jackman and his family live in New York City. In September 2023, the couple announced that they had separated. 113. 114. 115. Furness filed for divorce in May 2025, and it was finalized a month later. 116. As of 2025, he is in a relationship with the Music Man co-star Sutton Foster. 117. Jackman was raised Christian, attending multiple revivals during his childhood. In a 2015 interview, he identified as Christian 118 but says his version of faith differs from his father's. He takes his religion very seriously and would prefer I go to church. We've had discussions about our separate beliefs. I just find the evangelical church too, well, restrictive. 119. He meditates daily and incorporates teachings from the spiritually eclectic school of practical philosophy. 16. In November 2013, Jackman announced he had basal cell carcinoma removed from his nose. 120. He had a second carcinoma removed from his nose in May 2014, telling Associated Press that he expects to have future recurrences. 121. This resulted in Jackman attending the various worldwide premieres of X-Men, Days of Future Past with a bandage on his nose and urging his Instagram followers to wear sunscreen. 122. In April 2023, Jackman shared in a social media update that his biopsy results had all returned negative. He had tests taken as a precaution after his doctor observed symptoms that, according to the doctor, could be or could not be basal cell carcinomas. Jackman has undergone multiple procedures to remove skin cancer. He has continued to stress the significance of wearing high SPF sunscreen regardless of the season. 123. On March 18, 2015, Jackman revealed that he had to cancel stage performances in Turkey because he had a left vocal cord hemorrhage. 124. 125. A portrait of Jackman and Furnace by Paul Newton was a finalist in the 2022 Archibald Prize. 126. Other interests. In high school, Jackman played rugby union and cricket, took part in high jumping and was on the swimming team. 11. He enjoys basketball and kayaking. 127. He has expressed an interest in football, committing his support to Norwich City FC. 128. In the United States, Jackman supports the Philadelphia Union of Major League Soccer, attending a match at PPL Park in June 2010. 129. Jackman supports the Port Adelaide Football Club in the Australian Football League and once gave the team a pep talk prior to a showdown clash. 130. He is also a longtime fan and supporter of the Manly Warringah Eagles, a National Rugby League (NRL) club based on Sydney's northern beaches. 131. He sang the Australian national anthem at